Welcome everybody to the latest episode 9, first episode of 2025. And Brad, it's going to be a crazy. I feel like this year, I may have said this exact thing last time, but this year is going to be like 5 years, I feel.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2025, the latest. Absolutely, David. From what we're seeing about what's going to be the Consumer Electronics Show, CES, what all of the top names are releasing, it feels like keeping up with the technology news is going to be a proper activity. Like pay attention. This is not just something like, oh, I haven't paid attention for a while. I feel like even the 10 hours a week I spend knowing these tools, I still have to like focus because they are so powerful. These things, the changes in software and hardware and tools and abilities are happening so fast, and the capability is so massive. Um, I think it's going to be fun, but I think you got to buckle up your seatbelts.
Totally. Right. And even, and again, it's like speed up, slow down. I'm even going back, and one thing I've been doing is I've been just looking back at 2024 and digging into some of the things that we had deep dives into this year, such as Notebook LM or some of the music things. Again, we kind of brush past them. You show them to your neighbor, they're like, "Oh my God," or you walk into somebody else's AI session and they're just discovering Sono or Udio. So I
Yeah.
think it is, yeah, I think it's time to relook. As I mentioned to you earlier today, I just found the search chat function on ChatGPT because first I found it on Claude, and I told Camille, I'm like, look, it's on Claude. You can search your chats. He's like, what are you talking about? That's been on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Now, when he says that, is that it's been on there for 4 days, for 4 months, right? There's just too much. So it's kind of like, again, how do I want to use AI?
Mhm.
And what tools can I use that are effective? Do I have to have the best one?
Yeah.
There's gonna be another best one tomorrow, So I think it is just, and it's a great time to do it. We're setting our goals for 2025.
Yeah, for me, the big thing is you don't have to learn the full history. Like, you don't have to learn the history of the vehicle. You don't have to go get like an old horse cart and then get like your most basic mechanical car and then a Ford Model T and then a 1940s Studebaker before you can get in a modern car. You just get in the car that's around you, whether it's like a 20-year-old car or a 30-year-old car or a brand new car. You just get in and go somewhere. The same is true for AI tools. I think you should just go get the one that's at hand and try it instead of someone telling you this 3-year history of it or an even longer history of it. Like you're saying, there's so much that's new. I think just get in the nearest app, phone app, desktop app, whatever it is. Talk to the lapel pin, like we saw on Brain Juice a couple weeks ago. The fella had the lapel pin, and he held his palm out, and the lapel pin, like a square piece of metal and plastic, projected an image onto the palm of his hand. I've never seen that in person. Have you?
No, but as I'm talking to somebody, I'm going to be aware. Right? Talk about never knowing where you're being recorded. Now they got like Get Smart type things.
Yeah, from what is that? That's like a 1960s TV show, Get Smart.
Right?
I've seen it.
And all this stuff. See, I forget you're younger than me, Brad, much younger. So yes, it is the 19. I don't know if it's 60s, but
Maybe 70s, maybe
yeah,
70s.
maybe it is 60s. Who knows?
Yeah. But yeah,
But
it was a TV show about technology. I remember that show. They had advanced technology then.
yeah,
What should we jump into? What should we show? Do you want to show the search feature on ChatGPT?
sure. Let me pull up and this, look, again, many of our listeners may or may not know about this. It's the simple things. Let me just get in there before I share my screen.
I think it is the latest though. Like these are the latest things because lots of people say, "Great, I've searched for something. I've made this, AI generated chat. Now, what do I do with it?" And the answer
Right.
is you can search it later.
Right. And before they, right, again, like you said, so many things are coming up so fast. It's okay to ask questions. You and I do four of the, between the two of us, we do 4 or 5 AI sessions every week.
Yeah.
Like, oh, of course everybody's heard about that because everybody in our little circle is talking about, even though maybe it's 100 or 200 people, but still people don't know. So, right. So, yes, I can search for my chats now. So I can
Yeah.
let me search for, I,
Gosh, when you say it like that, you and I think, do at least 5 hours a week of these meetings.
right, right. So this is something I did on 11/4.
Okay.
I did my
Probably if you get good at putting the date in your searches, like good morning, it's January 2nd, 2025, you could start searching for the date. That'd be cool.
right, right. So I'm sure that functionality is either probably already here or whatever, right? So here's some research I did on Merck. So this makes it a lot easier because I did find I was having to kind of go back through and recreate even some logos. Another thing I find with graphics in ChatGPT that I don't think we've talked about on here. If I need a logo, a different format or something,
Yeah.
boom, I could just drag it in there, change this to a PNG, done.
Now, can you, I think
Um,
it's true. I think you can tell ChatGPT to make whatever image a PNG. I think you can say, make this a PNG.
right.
And now
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is something I know by like association. I know that there's a JPEG and a PNG and a PDF, and all of them are the same image. Do you know when and where to use those, or at least do you know who knows when and where to use those?
Well, how I started, I'm trying to upload a graphic somewhere. Oh, we need a PNG. And I've got it in a different format. Normally it'd be like, oh shit, how do I get this in a PNG? Boom, boom, boom. But now it's just drag it over and put it up.
Also, like I'm not putting this on. I'm just learning that you're doing this. So you just because you do some cool things that I don't do, and I'm always impressed by what you do, like your LinkedIn search. So right now you're saying if you have an image and then you need a file format for whatever, you take that image and drop it in and say convert it, and you get a new one out.
Right. Exactly. And I could share my bigger screen and show you.
Well, now I'm learning the latest. I didn't know that. Okay,
So
I thought
here,
you were taking an image you made in ChatGPT. You're taking any
I'm
image and convert.
typing any image, right? So if I have a logo,
Right.
oops.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
And
because lots of people say you need like an Adobe subscription or you got to go to some website that's in Russian, and you're like, what did I just give this?
exactly.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if it'll work. Let's try this one with HTML and see if that works, right? So now I'm going to say, get rid of all this. So then if I put this in here,
So you just open up a new chat GPT and you're using the 4.0 model. You just drag and dropped or like paper clipped in a file.
yep. Okay, so now, right, as I suspected, HTML, because it's render if it does. More about, okay, so now it's asking me more because it's more of an HTML page. I need the logo on that page as a JPEG.
So it looks like it's going to process the file.
Yeah, then they'll just pull it off of there. Right. I think especially for us, like when sponsors or people just send their logos, headshots, stuff like that.
Mm.
A lot of times it'll come in different formats. And again, and this is where I think what we talked about, previous shows, Brad. just remembering to use ChatGPT for this stuff, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm watching with rapt attention here because I've never seen this done. I want to see this happen. Like even if we have to go and take a different TIFF or JPEG to PNG, I'm getting that it can do this.
Right. All right. So now it looks like they may have even taken down
It says paste in the
that.
URL to download the image. So it gave you a
Right.
URL. Did that work?
Yeah, this is, let's see what it does
Isn't
here.
there a pop-out button there just above that text?
Right. So this is, yeah, see, this
So
is
it
no
did
fun.
output
Yeah.
something, but it did give you something, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, totally. So then, okay, so then save image as, and then I'll just put WIA logo
But that,
to,
like, so in essence, it worked. That's what you were looking for.
right. Well, right. But now, so now to get this, here, let me just save it over here. And now I think if I upload this, let's create a JPEG.
But you gave it the hard one. You gave it hypertext markup language.
Right. Well, right, exactly. Because it was just a link to a site and
Yeah.
an HTML, and then boom, they did it for me. And now I can upload, if I need to upload this onto my WordPress or whatever I'm doing with it, I'd have a JPEG that would be uploadable onto different things. So anyway,
That's
that's
cool.
right. Normally it's instant. A couple of things it'll either do it or tell me how to do it. This
Yeah.
we had to take 3 or 4 steps. But
Right.
again, Brad, we're so spoiled now. Oh, it doesn't work in seconds. It was up to it.
So speaking of something that works in seconds, check this out. Because you know our friend Alan Smithson, who's a
Yeah.
futurist. He put out his predictions a year ago, and then he put out his success rate. He got, I could check the text, but it was like 22 out of 24 predictions. It must have been because he did 24 for 2024. He did 24 technology predictions, and he got like 21 or 22 out of 24 correct. Because I remember this a year ago. I remember him saying like 6 weeks in, he's like, half my predictions are true in 6 weeks about what was going to happen. He put out 25 in 2025, which was yesterday. He put this out. So last night he's texting me, "Can you help me out?" Because he knows I'm good at these tools. I'm sort of stalling here while I make sure I've got which window open here. I'm gonna share the one
Yeah,
that
and then
says,
and then also the meta stuff, I think.
yeah, that's there too. So what he sends me is I don't know if I put it in there. Yeah, right here. Um, hmm. He sends me right this. He sends me this, his 25 technology predictions for 2025. So I ask Gemini to search for 2025 predictions, and it gives me Alan's. So I said, you literally sourced one of our members, which is super cool. So I'm showing off, I'll show a fresh version of it. I'm showing off Gemini, right? And what I'm showing off is the Gemini Advanced Deep Research tool. So if you go to Gemini, which is a Google product, gemini.google, in the drop-down menu, right, it's got all these different models. And right now, Deep Research, I believe, is free. Same with 2.0. So 2.0 is their preview. It's like their strongest model. But Deep Research is something that is kind of new. So with Deep Research, I wanted to see what was going on. Let me get a scroll up here. So I said, here's this Forbes article, right? And I said, this is one article on 2025 predictions. I said, go deep, smart, reliable, and likely. So I wanted an in-depth analysis. I wanted to be intelligent. I wanted to come from sources I can trust. And I want these predictions to be likely, not just like it's possible if everything lines up. So first it says it can't do elections and political figures, right? So I said research by news outlets. And if you've never seen this, David, this is super cool. So with Gemini's deep research tool, again, right now I believe it's free, Gemini's deep research. It's awesome. Here's what it does. It shows you the plan. So before it does it, it says, here's my plan. It says it's going to research websites. It's going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It tells you the 6 steps it's going to do. For me, it was predictions, analysis, news outlets, opinions, etc. But for you, it might be a recipe, it might be directions, it might be plan a vacation, it might be download a JPEG as an HTML file, or vice versa. So it does research as stage 1, analysis, right? And then report creating. And it's ready in a few minutes. This takes a bit of time, right? So I give it a thumbs up. I say start research, right? And it says, I've completed your research. Feel free to ask me follow-up questions. And it gives me a document, right? Now, I ran it twice because I wanted to see what happened. So I said, do it again and do it again and do it again, right? And it makes all this cool stuff, right? But let's look at the, pardon?
Yeah, no, I'm listening.
Yeah. So you can open this, right? And what happens is you open it up as a document, which is cool. But it'll also make you a doc, right? A Google Doc. So check that out. I click open in docs. And again, this is like one-click stuff. You're just like, I want this topic researched. And it will do it.
And then it'll search the web, right? It can search the web live too.
It can, yes.
And
So
I'm asking this just
yeah,
because, Brad, every time you show me Gemini or part of the Google AI Studio, I'm thinking like I am not leveraging this the way I should be or could be.
yeah,
Even when speaking to my friend yesterday, she's kind of just getting into AI or hasn't even started really. And she's like, I was like, look, ChatGPT or Claude, they said they're basically the same thing for that piece of it. She's like, well, what about Gemini? I said, yeah, you're right. But I
yeah.
haven't played with it much.
Because
And
there's also
no, please.
there's also Meta, which I have not played with, and there's also Grok with a Q and Grok with a K. There's this whole ecosystem that I'm just, and there's Amazon and there's Claude. Like there's
Right,
so much and
right,
Perplexity.
right. So
It-
I think that no, exactly. Right. One
and I
thing,
can't know all those. It's too much.
oh,
It's 10
totally.
hours a week each. That's 70 hours. You can't do it.
Yeah, totally. And I have a call today at 1 your time, which you're invited on to, where we're planning for the CES for a small group of us that are going, and just how what companies we should be targeting that align with what we're doing, and we're gonna be creating an event just to get together at CES at the Westgate late afternoon to try to get people after they walk the event and before the parties. So look for that on our site. But
Great.
I could, but I this would be a great tool to use for that to kind of scour CES, all the exhibitors and everything else, and come back with a list, right?
Absolutely. So check this out, right? So um, it gives you a source. We can do one live. We'll do one live, but I'll show you the conclusion of this. I clicked in the top corner, open in docs. So it made whatever it is we're going to do, it makes. And then in the bottom left corner, there's a black bar here, and it says open docs. So it made me a Google document, right? And it's got nice tabs for all the different topics, right? It looks great. It's now a Google document that I could make into whatever, right? And it's called Tech Predictions for 2025. But check this out. If I go to Google Vids, which is a new product, I've spelled it correctly this time, Google Vids, right? Do I need my other one? Maybe I've got to share it on my other account. For some reason, it's being funny. I
Right. Could be
I don't
logged
want to.
in.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't want to waste time on a live Zoom to figure out why. Here
But
we go.
yeah.
So you might need a Google Workspace. This might be the paid tool. I'll acknowledge that. You might need a Google Workspace, which I have. You might be able to get a Google Workspace without paying. There might be paid features. But if you have a Google Workspace, Google Vids is a new tool, right? So I sign in, which is just a one click. There's me. And what I can do now is I can add that file. I can at my tech predictions. It was just there. At predictions. Come on now. I can at any file, right? So here's the one I made. Here's the one I made off of it. I kind of wanted to show one live. That's the bummer. You know how you want to show people how it works, but what I don't want to do is show the live YouTube audience everything in my Google Drive because I'm like, did I include files from projects that people will be saying, why is my file on your YouTube channel?
Which I probably just did when I showed my screen, but I didn't show anything deep in.
I'm going to do it on a different screen here and get the right file. 2025 predictions for Google Vids. Yeah, it should be 2025. That's how it starts. 25.
Better get to the market rate. I'll see the Dow doing very well.
What just happened there?
173 point.
Oh my goodness. We're in such a high-tech world, David.
I know.
So what you do though is you at 2025. Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm going to do a different one. I'm going to do the one I showed on Monday night. It's just fine, right? So you can add some file. You can see how quick this is. It makes chapters that I could edit the title of. I could add to. I could delete. I could reorder.
Wow, you can edit it right there. That's amazing.
Right. You saw how fast it made that. That's the point.
Yes.
You can choose a color and format scheme. So I could choose black background, white background, green, purple. I like this one, right? For whatever reason, I like it.
Yes.
And it just shows you that it's going to be blue, purple, yellow with like left and right. So you don't have to worry about the people in the text. It's just showing you the transitions, right? And I'm going to create the draft video. And I mean, we're talking like 20 seconds here, right? So you can be in Gemini, you can make your search, you can make your deep research, you can create a Google Doc with just the one click, you open it up, and then you like it, all right? You go to Google Vids, you add that file, and it makes this video here. Like this is a video. If I push play, I think I might have pushed play while it's still building it. But it makes like real video. It's not like AI generated video. It's like open source video with music.
I love that.
Like it's amazing.
Right. So then would we say sites like Visla are gone?
Maybe, because what this did as well, David, is it made a script for me to read.
Right.
Right. And then I can click the record button, record myself, or I could put in like, one of the avatars.
Or you can probably upload your 11 Labs voice, right? And then it'll just auto read it for you without you having to go through the whole thing.
Exactly. Or I can generate a voiceover and there's like a man and a woman with different accents and different styles, etc. And you can change the music all inside the program. It's pretty dang wild. Because I'm short on time today, I've got about 10 minutes. I'm going to show you the other thing I mentioned. It's always good to show people the bumpy side of technology because it's not smooth for everyone. It's not always just like click, 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 click. But if you would have told me 6 months ago that I could take a chat research, go deep on it, look at 50 sources, turn it into a document, turn it into a video in 7 minutes, I would have been mind blown. And now I feel like I'm embarrassed it took 7 minutes. I'm like, it took me 4 earlier, which is kind of comical, I find. So if I go here, what I saw on one of my news feeds, and the reason I'm showing Fox is because Fox interviewed
last year with a simple strategy.
That's what hit when I pushed play there. Fox interviewed a Meta executive. So normally I don't go to any one news source over another, but they interviewed Connor Hayes, who's the vice president of products for Gen AI at Meta. So Meta is Facebook, right? If you go to Meta's website, they don't have it up yet, right? But Rolling Stone is talking about it. Facebook and Instagram, so the two very popular websites for, I don't know, David, over 100 million people?
At least.
At least, right? They're going to unleash AI-generated users, and then Rolling Stone editorializes that no one asked for. Right? So what that means is, and this is from December 30th, this is from 3-4 days ago. So what that means is you're going to be browsing Facebook, you're going to be browsing Instagram, and then what looks like a friend will be not a real person, but you can have interactions with them, and they'll have a full friend account. So they will be a complete, identical to your account. It used to be, like they said last year, they were going to get Snoop Dogg and Mr. Beast and Paris Hilton and Kendall Jenner, right?
Right.
But now they're going to put out what they call AI Studio. So they're going to debut AI Studio where users can create their own chatbots, including wholly fictional characters. So it doesn't mean like you're a writer and you're going to make a fictional character. It means you could just make a coworker up named Bill or Joe or Sam or Sue. And you could just make up a coworker or make up a friend. Like it doesn't have to be that you're good at writing fiction. They're just saying like these people don't exist. And all of a sudden they've got a Facebook account. And with image creation that looks almost real life, you can all of a sudden start making up non-existent people and chat with them.
Right. Look, my imaginary friend could come back from elementary school. I could turn them into a real person, right?
Yeah, right, man. So it's Connor Hayes from Meta. I couldn't find like the actual press release, so I think that's how new that is. But the idea is from now on, you'll be on those platforms and you may not be certain if this is your real friend with an AI looking avatar or if it's an AI account with a real looking avatar. I think they just blurred the line of reality for all of Facebook and all of Instagram. That unless you certainly know that person, there's now a percent chance, quarter percent, half a percent chance, 1% chance that that's an entirely non-existent, commercially oriented, data-seeking robot, or it's just some fun. Because I'm not against it. I'm not against it at all. It could just be some fun.
And or is it just extensions of us being able to have our other digital twins, right? I mean, right, or just kind of go out and handle stuff for us. That's crazy. So
And there's the fun aspect. You like hockey and I like hockey. It would be kind of cool if my hockey card got a person like it got a Facebook account.
yeah,
That'd be kind of fun. And then I could have my hockey avatar.
right. Oh, and even just our different parts of our lives, because we're multi-dimensional, right? So the Brad that likes hockey, that's one, and then they're going to go off and research things and then bring our main person the overviews.
Yeah.
You go on with this, but I love it. This will be a great year for the latest. I am going to review, and I do want to go deeper with you on that Google Gemini stuff because I feel like I'm behind. Right? Just I think it's like, yeah, be careful of the experts. Anybody calls themselves an expert in any of this stuff, I would kind of, argue that maybe it's hard to stay current because you can be an expert today and totally lost tomorrow. So
Absolutely. If all of a sudden Amazon's model peaks, I've never used it.
right.
Right. And then I'm not even close to knowledgeable about it. Because like I said at the start of this call, there's ChatGPT, there's Claude, there's Perplexity, there's Google, there's Meta, there's Grok with a K, there's Grok with a Q. Like there's 7, 8, 9, 10 of these that are absolutely on any given day of the month able to be the best thing in the world.
Right. And so, look, and similar to search engines, right? There's many different search engines you can use or browsers, right? So it's like choose one, maybe choose a couple. For me, I use 3 different browsers because I have different things on each one. And I kind of use AI the same way. Some things I'll use Gemini for, some things ChatGPT and Claude are kind of my go-tos now. So yeah, I think and I think what we'll continue with this year is just really, bringing the latest. Maybe we'll evolve into doing shows. People can reach out to us and come check out our think tanks we do and our weekly events. We'll have some training in coming up this year. We'll have whether people are coming from zero and they just want to start using AI till they want to where they've been more savvy and stay involved in things. stay just up to date again. I don't care who they are. All the people you have coming Monday night, Brad, they're heads of innovation for major universities
Yeah.
and everybody learning from each other. So
Yeah, before we go, let's actually do a live test of this because I kind of want to show this. I want to do a little redemption for the tool. So again, we're in Gemini. We're in the drop-down menu, advanced, right? 1.5 Flash, 1.5 Pro. That's what I want. With deep research, that's the key, deep research. And you've asked a question about CES. So I'll say CES 2025. What's your question? And it'll do this for us.
well, I'd like to know what are 10 companies that we should target that will be growing in 2025. I mean, can we be that vague?
Yeah, we can. Okay. So it does its thinking here.
I guess I didn't say at CES, but I think it'll figure it out because
Oh, I said CES 25. So it says, here's a research plan for that topic. So they're going to research websites. They're going to find the list of companies exhibiting. They're going to find the list that have won awards, find the list that are launching new products, significant announcements, media attention, rising stars, and expected to grow, and then make a list. So they're telling me their filter. I could edit this plan to say only on the Atlantic seaboard or only on the Pacific Northwest. I could say only in the Tex-Mex border. I could say only, I could edit it, but we'll just go, right? So it says start research. It says, while I'm researching, feel free to leave this chat. I'll let you know as soon as I'm done.
oh my God.
Okay. But you can see it's starting research. And I think it's kind of neat to watch because sometimes, look at this right here. Researching 21 websites. See that on the right-hand panel? It says, in researching your report, Gemini searches the web and browses content from relevant websites on your behalf.
Wow.
And it tells me where it's going. So it says it's going to Biz Prospects, to CES.tech, to Tech Radar, to PC Outlet, to News at Panasonic, to QuiverQuant, to Sammy Fans, to YouTube, to TrendForce, LG Newsroom, Samsung DI, Business Wire. So like you can tell Globe Newswire, NASDAQ, Bankrate, Investopedia, Fool.com, which I think is the Motley Fool. I think so.
Yeah.
Now look at this. 69 websites. You cannot beat 69 websites in the time it takes to say their names. It has researched, like, I don't know, 2 years ago, how long would it take you to research 70 websites?
Brad,
All day?
2 years ago, 2 weeks ago. Right? I mean, this is what I would be doing, and I'd get, halfway through and just not have the time and probably get what I wanted, but
Yeah.
not doing the deep research that this can do automatically.
Yeah.
I think this is phenomenal.
Yeah. So it's important to see not just whether or not you're going to do it, but it's possible. I always put this out there as like, there are websites like Fiverr and Upworks where for an extraordinarily low amount of money, like the price of a sandwich, you could pay someone to do this. You could be like, look, someone on Upwork, I could give them $10 and they do this for me.
Well, you don't know that they're not gonna get there with this amount of due diligence, right?
I mean, someone on Upwork can do a Gemini search for you. You don't even have to have the tool.
I got you. So
you don't have to have the memberships. You could not pay the membership. You could just pay someone $10.
Right. No, I love that. And then once it completes this, and is this part of if I just pay for Google Mail and stuff, I get this?
I think
Probably.
you could try, I think you could try between now and later today. I think you could just go to your Gemini and see if you have it. I think right now you can just use this if you have a Gmail account.
Okay, I love it. Okay, so then will it build it into a Google Doc for me?
Yeah, it will.
Okay, and then it'll just put it there. So if you left and came back, you just go to your drive.google.com. Here's the research you just did.
If you leave and come back, you have to come back to Gemini. And then they'll say, do you want this in a Google Doc? You click yes. That part's instant.
That's
so like I said, it does take a couple of minutes. So like this is like a 3 or 4 minute process, which is okay.
Yeah.
Right. Because again, like you said, to go to 69 websites, and it's not always any number. It's not, it might be 30, it might be 70, it might be 50. I don't know. It depends.
Right. Some of these websites have hundreds of thousands of pages. When you look at CES and all the exhibitors, deep dive into that, and it looks like it's really going deep.
Yeah. So before we get too deep into that, that's the idea, right?
No, I love it.
But it might take 5 minutes. I don't want to put 5 minutes of dead space on our
Right.
YouTube channel, but we can look at that next time because I do have to be somewhere.
Yeah.
Because this is a live show, right? This is not a pre-recorded, do it anytime kind of show. It's live. That will populate an answer, and I will just one-click it, send it to Google Docs.
Right, and this is the latest. And what I was the way I'm gonna use it, Brad, is I'm gonna upload my goals for 2025, what types of customers my company's looking for,
Yeah.
where there's alignment. Then I'm gonna tell it to search what companies, whether they're searching their annual reports or blah blah blah, what align with Witty's value and services. And who should I connect with at the companies that can be at CES, right? I mean, I'm going deep. So anyway. Thank you.
That's so smart.
That was gold. And this is the latest.
That what you just said is super smart. That is a senior career move right there.
Yeah. Right? Why don't you know? Remember?
That's smart, man.
Okay, brother. I'll see you later today.
All right, take care. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, buddy.